Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Now, just maybe one or two thoughts before we jump into this, because this is key. You're going to see this morning, I believe this is the key to powerful and rightly positioned prayers in that one verse. But one or two thoughts, you can almost see that Jesus, in the culture that he was in, he's looking at two different crowds. The one are these ultra-religious people called the Pharisees, and they had turned prayer from what it should be, connection with God, they had turned it into this public show that you have for people. So you stand on the street corners, you stand in front of people, and you try to impress them with how religious you can be. It only works in Christian circles, right? And it's so impressive how religious you are. Or you know, these other people, you were saying, these Gentiles, they were trying to impress God. They were trying to strong arm God with all their words and all their phrases and, eloquent speech and prayer, trying to force God into blessing them. And Jesus comes and he says, guess what, guys? Prayer is not about trying to impress other people or trying to impress God. I'm telling you that prayer is a lifestyle. It should be as simple and as natural as breathing. And that's why he doesn't say, and if you pray, he says a few times, and when you pray, and when you pray, and when you pray. And so this thing that we call the Lord's Prayer, I don't think we should see it as like some magical incantation. You get up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you just start, phrasing this thing, our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done. And then the angels just whisk you out of the house into your work and it's gold dust all around you. And, I've said the magical prayer, so now everything's going to go my way. That's not, I think, what Jesus is saying. He's not saying this is the only way to pray. And he's leaving out a whole bunch of other things as well. You would think if he's trying to give us a seminar like Prayer for Dummies, he would tell us everything about the posture of prayer. Should I sit or stand or lie down? What's the place of prayer? Where should I do it? What's the time? What's the dress code of prayer? And he leaves out all that stuff. Why? Because the Lord's Prayer, as we call it, is not about the detail. It's about these broad strokes. I want to give you the values that you, every single time you pray, you have to make a stop at one of these values. There's power, and that he says that is what prayer is all about.